Tova, why in heaven's name are you out in your garden planting stuff at 6:20 in the morning? Well, I mean, that's a reasonable question to ask, really. Why am I not in bed? I'm also going to add that I have a chicken in the oven roasting, and I have a pork loin to cook as well. And in less than 3 hours, I've got to be somewhere else to get a tattoo. I'm getting a tattoo today. Yay! And I mean, this is why. This is why I am out here right now doing this and up and doing the cooking. It's got to do with the fact that I've got an appointment. And I'm also working today, so I start my shift at midday. And everything has got to be done before then. And the reason I'm cooking is I basically got some really, really good meats on discount yesterday. Best before date yesterday, reduced to clear. It can manage one more night before I actually jump up and cook it, right? But they have to be cooked today. And I can't cook later this morning because of my tattoo appointment, and then I'm at work and I don't finish work until after 10 o'clock tonight, so I'm not going to cook tonight, am I? So yeah, I'm up cooking, and I bought these vegetables just the other day, and they need to get into compost because it's very hot and very dry, and it's easier to keep a bed adequately moisturized. Moist bed than it is a little pots like this. Yes, big day today, my first ever tattoo at the tender age of 46, when I finally get inked. I've wanted to get a tattoo for quite some time, actually. Well, for most of my adult life I've had ideas of tattoos I want, and some of those ideas I still have. But they're quite big and expensive ideas I have for the tattoos I want. So this is a small one, this is a micro tattoo, and it means a lot to me. I'm getting roots as a tattoo, and once it's done I'm going to explain what they are and what they mean and why they're important to me. So yay, tattoo. Hello morning glory. Are you gonna strangle everything of mine? I pulled a lot of my morning glory out, and I thought the flowers are so pretty. Shall I just leave them until they're flowered? They're a weed. They're an absolute nuisance. But yeah, they're gorgeous when they're flowering. Well, it doesn't stop there, does it? So, cooked all that food this morning, ran off to get ink. There's my tattoo. I will explain more when I can show it in a better angle. And now I have made a blend for Elin, which I'm standing here sieving. As you may be aware, I currently don't have a high power blender, and that is for financial reasons. I can't afford it, and I've not fundraised to get one, which is, you know, bad me. And I think this one just died. So I really need to sit down and look at alternatives for how I can get a high-powered blender, because I am done. I'm so done with this. I spend too much time sieving her blends every time I make one, because the blender I have is not made for a blender diet. That's all. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a Morphy Richards. It's a perfectly reasonable bog standard blender if all you do is blending for, you know, able-bodied purposes, if you like. But when you have to have a blend that is completely smooth with absolutely no lumps to ensure you don't block the feeding tube, it is not powerful enough. The blenders that are powerful enough for definite that I know work are Blendtec and Vitamix, and yes, they are super expensive. I know that Blendtec offer a medical discount. I do not know if Vitamix do, but contact both of them and find out. And do fundraising. Yes, it is several £100s, but if that is split amongst friends and even just amongst friends and family, you can probably reach that. I know I can probably reach that. So, you know, again, will you just get your ass into gear, Tova, and do this? Yeah. I really do recommend getting a high power blender. And I thought this is actually good content for a little Instagram reel. So if you excuse me for a minute, I'm going to record on my phone instead and just do that one. Okay. Hi, I'm Tova and I have an annoying... Okay, there we are. Are you embarking on a blended diet journal? The journal? Here I stand sieving my daughter's food. I'm going to invest in one of those high-tech blah, 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 blah. I have no idea how long it's taken me. Like, I don't actually check the time. I know it takes me forever. And it is extremely frustrating. And if Elin is having a sense of humour failure, then I'm sitting with her on my lap and feeding her and doing this at the same time and trying to eat. It's not good for my mental health, people. Seriously, it is not. So... it is time that I sort myself out and make sure that I get the funds for a high power blender one way or another. I'm applying for their affiliate scheme. I'm going to apply for some fundraising through a charity, and if all else fails, I'll set up a GoFundMe page or whatever they're called now. Yeah, because I need to do this. It can't go on. It cannot go on, even if this one hasn't died, but I really think it has. I'm going to test it in a moment. It has burnt, at least it's burnt out once. It burnt out while I was blending. And if that has happened once, it'll keep happening until it burns out completely. So it's not even high time. It is now an absolute necessity, or I will not be able to feed my child. And not being able to feed my child is not acceptable. However, I am approaching the end of this. And can freeze some of this. I need to eat something myself. I need to make food for my break at work. I'm not going to call it lunch, more like dinner, because I'll be eating at around 5-6 p.m. today. I'll be having food, and yeah, then get myself into my uniform and get off to work, I suppose. So time is flying. It always is. But yes, tattoo. Whilst I'm standing here and just doing this, and it is just so not an interesting thing to watch. Look at me stirring stuff in a sieve to make it go through the small holes. Woohoo! My tattoo. Yes, this is the first ever tattoo I have ever gotten done. And I've been thinking about it for a long time. I have a lot of ideas for tattoos that I've been thinking about for a long time. And it's always been better things to spend my money on, and there still is better things to spend my money on, but I wanted to reward myself. I've been promoted at work. I've come out of a pretty dark and difficult period with my winter depression. I have turned my life around yet again. Go me! So I just wanted to give myself a little gift, and I went for this rune tattoo because I want to remind myself that I'm a shield maiden, a warrior, a fighter, and bloody awesome. That's what I wanted to do. The big rune is a rune called Algis, and it is the elk, so a very Scandinavian animal. Elk or moose, whatever you feel most comfortable calling it. It also means protection, and it's a rune I have a very strong affinity with, and that's why I wanted to have that as a tattoo on me. And then along the base of that large rune, I have written my name in runic letters. And the first letter there, or the first rune there, is Tiwas, the warrior, the god Tyr from Viking mythology. The next one is Othala, which means home and family. Then we have Urus, and Urus is the ox, the original strength, the animal that provides, well, it pulls the plow, it provides meat, it pulls your wagons, basically everything needed to keep you safe and fed and get you places, right? And then the final one is Ansus, which stands for communication and truth. All runes have more meanings than this, but these are the meanings that resonate with me. So yes, I got that done. Go Shield Maiden me. I am so happy. I really am. Really am. I did struggle to find a tattoo artist at first, actually. because it is a micro tattoo. It's very small, and micro tattoos can be a little bit tricky because they're so thin. Over time, all tattoos change and warp and fade and things like that a little bit. So there is sort of a risk that the letters will become, or the letters, there is a risk that the runes will become blurred over time and difficult to read. And I understand this. And when I sent my sketch, it wasn't I want this exact style. I want it to look exactly like this. Because quite frankly, my sketch is wonky and uneven and, you know, leaning in different directions and spacing's not right and all of that. But I actually had people telling me straight out, oh no, that can't be done. And I'm like, what do you mean it can't be done? I see examples of micro tattoos everywhere, really intricate, really thin, so why can't it be done? One artist told me that it would have to be at least 7 centimeters tall to work. And eventually one artist actually got back to me straight away, which is another thing, a lot of artists don't get back to people straight away. Got back to me straight away and said, for this to work, I would suggest that we make the following adjustments. Thank you! You're the artist. You make it work. I'm the customer, I come up with the idea, but I'm not an artist. I can never draw a tattoo exactly the way I want it to look. Like, I'm pretty good at drawing, but I'm not that good. All right? Yeah, so that's the artist I went with to have this done, because that's what made me happy. And she did an amazing job. We played, while I was there, we played around a little bit with different sizes and we played around with placements. I had originally planned to have it here, but for a variety of reasons I decided that wouldn't work. She's the one that suggested we place it here, and it looks beautiful and I love it. And the important thing to me is that I want to be able to just look down and go, oh yeah, that's right, I'm a shield maiden, when I need to. I managed to spray myself with water when I rinsed off the stuff I'd used for Elin's blend. So now I have big water droplets all over my dress and they really show up, but never mind. I'm not going to wear this for work anyway, and it'll dry anyway. Elin got roast chicken with sweet potato, carrots, sugar snaps and kale. I'm trying to think if I put anything else in there. All the stock from the chicken and a bottle of Fortini for extra calorie boost. And now I'm making myself a salad to have later during my break. So I have little gem lettuce, I have red onion, I have avocado, I have radishes, I've got pepper, I do have cucumber. Why did I not take the cucumber out? It's interesting. Tomatoes, olives, and more of the roast chicken. So there's a lot of meals that come from one roast chicken, and I'm going to freeze some of the meat as well because it's super good for me to have and throw in noodle soups. Just make a ramen and chuck some roasted chicken on top of it, and there's your meal. Love it. And that's really going to be my day now, is finishing off this, have something to eat before I go to work. But crap, what time is it? 11:15. And then I go to work, and then I work for a long time, and then I come home and I try to eat something else, and then I go crash. So whilst this is not a whole day in my life, it is just a morning in my life. But you know, let's face it, it's a fairly decent chunk of a morning in my life, isn't it? I hope you've enjoyed. As always, if you have any questions, you know where to pop them. And if you are not already a subscriber, then please hit the subscribe button and please share with me thoughts and ideas and things that have come up as you've been watching this. And I really appreciate you guys, and have a lovely rest of your day. Mwah!